the first session was on 25th November. Actually, that was a kickoff start where course, all the outcomes that we have in the course and all that kind of stuff. And in this session, we'll be focusing more on the track one, that is new to programming track. And I'll be explaining you some basic concepts of Android, Kotlin, and we'll create a simple app. Okay, so I just wanted to show you to create a simple app. So, and one more thing is, many of the students are feeling problems in installing the Android Studio or running their app in the emulator. How to do it, and I'll show you a solution. If you are not able to do something, I'll show you a solution, and I'll show you how to figure it out, how to debug your app if you have any error, like those things. So I'll just present my screen, and we'll move forward with the session. So if I'm audible, just put yes in the comment box, all of you, because I have some network issue over here. So if I'm not able to, if you're listening to me or not, like I can't. No, yeah, nice. So I'll just present my screen. Yeah, guys. So I think you're able to see my screen, right? Yeah. So here I've created one basic project here. So before that, I'll just open the course once to show you guys. Okay. So you can see here, right? I have some network issues, so it's fine. Yeah. Okay. So here, what I did is I just created a basic. I just wanted to show you guys the outline of this Android Studio software. So I just created a basic project, and here you can see. I hope that you all guys have completed at least half of the track, right? The track one. So because this session will be mainly focused for track one participants. That is the participants who have chosen the new to programming track. So I hope you guys have completed at least half or more than half of the track. So that's why I directly went to the Android Studio tool, and I'll be explaining you Studio tool and some other stuff like how to debug your app, what mistakes that you make generally when you install this Android Studio, and I'll show you all that related stuff. So, and before going into the Android Studio tool, today we'll be creating a simple login app like this. Okay, so this app I actually created 1 hour ago, 1 hour ago. So I just wanted to show you how to create this kind of login app. So if I zoom in, you can see. If I zoom in, you can see that here I have inserted a basic image view and edit text view here, and another edit text view and the button. So this is a simple app, but actually, if time permits, I can show you the live coding over here. That's not a problem. But here I've created a simple app and a Kotlin file where I'll write the code for this app. So I'll explain you guys how to do this app and how to create this UI. But before that, we'll start with the. Here I have created a project called Login. The name of this project is Login. Just to show you a demo. So guys, when you create a new project at starting, you will find two files. That is, if you the left side, that is, this is the project panel, or you can call it whatever you want. I call it a project panel. So here, what you can see, all the files that you have created and all the folders and files that are related to this Android Studio project. So suppose if I'll go to Java and I'll go here. So here I can find my main activity file. So this file is created automatically by the Android Studio when you create a new project. So I hope you guys might have known it, right? So you guys have completed half of the track. So I hope you know all these basics. I'm just explaining it. And there will be one more file called as activity main.xml file. So if you go to this res folder, it's actually called resource folder. So if you go to this resource, here in the layout folder, you'll find this activity.main.xml. So I'll explain you what is XML. So see, in this session, right? And what I'll do is I'll explain you the basics, and I'll explain you some informal definitions. Okay, so I went to the track one course with some very formal definitions. So when I was learning Android, I didn't go in such a formal way. So I went to YouTube videos like that. So that's why I thought like if the course is too formal, then so that's why here in this session I will be explaining some concepts in an informal way so that you guys can understand. So the first thing is when you create a project, as I said, you'll get two files. That is the main activity.kt. The KT is an extension for Kotlin file, and activity main.xml. So XML is like it's the full form is extensible markup language. It's similar to the HTML if you have noticed it. It's not. It's just similar. It's not the same. So XML file in this XML file we will be generally doing all the user interface thing or all the coloring. If you want to add buttons, anything else like image view, if you want to add image or anything like radio buttons and all, we will be doing all the things in this XML file. So here, if you see, uh, here we have a design. Okay, so I can split it. I can even see the XML file, and anyone can see the design. So if I go to design, here you can see that the hello world is printed. I'll just zoom up. So here you can see that hello world is printed. So I don't know, like if I think in the some of the first units you directly design things. So if I want to place a button, I'll just drag it and I'll put it over here, right? So this is how you do a button. I mean, like you place a button. So this is actually called activity. So activity means, so activity is a very important term when you are doing an Android code. So activity is anything that you can see. So if any user, interferes with the hardware, it's called an activity. So all the things like layouts, all those things are called, all those things are present as activity file, activity. So that's what activity is. It's an informal definition. So here you can see, uh, have placed the button. So automatically the code, but the code for the button is generated. So here I'm using the constraint layout. So the constraint layout is basically like if you want to do like this, like you have to put all the constraints over here. So okay, so you have to put all the constraints over here. So I generally don't use this constraint layout. So what I recommend you is like generally when you are going through the starting part of the track, that is, I'll just open it. If it opens, yeah, yeah. So when you are going to starting part, you can see that there are some modules, and here uh, there is some dice roller app and all. So I went through all this, and there they have directly used like just a second, yeah. So they have directly used this design part. So they have not shown you how to implement. So what happens is generally like you can do it, like suppose, see, as I said, you can just pick a button and place it over here. That's not a problem. But what I recommend is after creating some apps, like after creating some 2 3 apps, I recommend is you can directly code the you can directly code all the components of the app here. So I would recommend directly coding the XML. So why? Because see, why? Because see, this dragging and dropping is really a hectic task, right? When you are doing some user interface, this dragging and dropping is really hectic. So, and it doesn't suit, okay, actually, for an advanced style developer, it doesn't suit. So, what I would recommend is you just, I'll just show you, okay. So, I'll just delete this. So, what I'll do is, I'll remove this constraint layout and just put a linear layout. And here I'll put orientation as horizontal. Okay, sorry, vertical. So what will happen is if I put vertical, all the components will be in a vertical hierarchy. So if I want to place a button over here, I already have a text view. So I'll just remove it once and I'll show you it again. So I just have a text view here and I'll make the width as match parent and graph content. And I'll just move it. So, and I'll just type a text as hello. That's fine. Hello, Kotlin. Hello, Kotlin is fine. So as you can see on the top, so what it means is, since I have given an orientation of vertical, so it will start from the top. And if I add one more text view, uh, and same, I'll do it same. Okay. And I'll add one more, like, I'll just add it hello only. So you can see that it's going in a vertical way. So that's what this orientation means. So I generally use linear layout, okay, because it is very simple and generally most of the complex UI, they can be, made with linear layout only. So why to go with why to go with a complex one if you can achieve it with a simple one? So that's why I generally use linear layout. So even this login app, you can see here I use the linear layout and one more I used relative layout. I'll explain what relative layout is in few minutes. So like this, you can create some stuff. So I recommend is that you should always use XML while simple. And if you wanna move it a little bottom, you can say that margin top. So margin top, I would say 50 dp. So it moves from the top 50 dp down. 50 dp is a kind of a kind of unit that we use in Android to just measure the length or width or whatever. So like this, you can. I would recommend is that you use directly the XML thing rather than going with the design part and dragging and dropping all that stuff. So that's it with the XML. When I come to this main activity.kt, the Kotlin file, here you can see one the predefined code. Okay, so this is already written, and here you can see one line. This is the set content view r.layout.activity main. So what this means is this Kotlin file is linked to your activity main.xml file. So this is a kind of bridge between the Kotlin and the XML. So you have to always add it when you are linking an Kotlin file with the. So this particular file is linked to the activity main.xml. So yeah, that's it. That's the main thing. And coming to the left part, here you can see there are many folders. Okay, so the first one is here you can see that it's actually called the project panel, and here you can see there are many modes. Okay, this project panel has kind of modes. So we are in the default Android mode. You can go to project and you can go to some other like packages, and but that is not required actually. So it's better you be in Android, the default one here, because this is clear and you can see all the files that you created over here in the left side. So here we have created a main.activity file, so that's why it is there here. And one more thing is we have created a layout file, that is main activity main.xml, and even that is here. So this coming to starting this manifest. So this is very important actually. I have to mention this. I think yeah, you might have found it in the course, right? I don't know, like I went to this course and they have not explicitly mentioned about this. Like they have said it, I agree, but they have not explicitly mentioned about how it works and all. So this activity main.xml is Android manifest.xml is really important actually. Why? Because it contains all the details of the files. So what it means is here I have a main.activity. So here you can see that this activity file is mentioned over here. Don't mention it over here. What happens is Android Studio doesn't consider it, and when you run your app, it will run, but it will not open this activity. So I'll just show you in a minute. Okay, what it exactly means. I'll show you and I'll run it also. So this is very important, and make sure that whenever you create an activity or a Kotlin activity, a Kotlin file or a Java file, we have to mention it here in the Android manifest file. That's really important. Okay, that's the important thing. And we have some other folders, like as I said, this is a resource folder, and here we have four mini folders. One is drawable. So drawable folder is used for all the images. So if you want any image, so suppose here if you can see that I have imported this JSS logo. So my JSS logo will be there in this drawable folder. So I have named it as logo.png. So this JSS logo will be there in my drawable folder, and I can extract it anywhere in the code, even in the main XML code or in the Kotlin. So I can extract it. So always remember that whenever you import any image from internet or from any source, you have to always place it here in the drawable folder. So that's really important. You can't place it anywhere else. No, it doesn't work. So that's why. And coming to next, we have a layout file. This layout file contains all the XML files that you use for creating the user interface. And this minmap file is basically for logos, for editing logos. So this is a kind of, and even this is a kind of logo. So there are some default logos of Android itself. If we want any other logos, icon type, if you want to edit the color or anything else, we can use this minmap folder. But it is not used so regularly in any of the projects, so don't worry about that. And coming to this values, even this is an important folder. Here you will be finding all the colors. You can just predefine the colors here. There are some predefined colors, and here, and you can define them and you can use it in the. So suppose how you use it is like, suppose if you want, like, I'll just show you if possible. Uh, Text color, right? See, here I have at the rate of color. So I have defined it black here. So because why? Because in the colors there is a thing called black. See? So if you want any predefined colors, or you can even define your own color like this, and you can call it in the manifest, XML file. So you can call it. I'll just remove it. I just wanted to show you. So if you want it, you can use like this, and even same with the strings. So if you want any predefined strings, it here and you can use it there. It's not a deal. And here you have themes. So this is where you make themes, like if you have a toolbar over here above, when you run an app you'll find a toolbar above, so you can define the color of that toolbar, or you can define some other colors, like when you are searching you can define that search text, and also there are some different things that you can use. You can change it actually when you do the project, right? You'll get to know like where exactly these things will be used. And XML, I think it's new. Actually, it came in Android 4th version. So these are days, night, Dracula themes are really popular. So that's why I think they have included it in the video. So this is for changing the colors and all. So that's the basic idea behind it. And coming to this Gradle script, I want to focus. I want to focus it more because this is a really important. So Gradle scripts are like in general. So what Gradle script means, whenever it's used for automation purpose. So it contains some scripts. So if you know Python or any other language, so they you write scripts in them. So that's why this Gradle is a kind of build automation where it contains some inbuilt scripts, and they, like, it automates some purpose. Say for example, as I said, right, when you create a new project in Android Studio, there will be two classes already made. That is main activity and activity main. So if you ask me who made it, actually, it's actually because Gradle will contain some inbuilt scripts which will automate some process, while you are creating a project or while you are, doing a project. So that's an important thing actually. So it's if you go into it more, it's a bit more complicated, but you can understand it in a simple way that it's just used for automation purpose. In any other IDE, if you even use some other IDE, you can find this Gradle scripts. So that's this left part actually. Yeah. And coming to one more thing, many that you are facing some problems in installation, mainly the part related things. So if you have any problem in installing Android Studio, and if you are getting any problems related to path, like you might have found that SDK is not found, AVD manager is not found. All these things are the errors which you get when you when you have given the wrong path to the Android Studio. So if you want to see what if you want to see, you go to the settings. Okay, so yeah, just open here. Like I'll just close it and show you once again. Just open the file here and just go to settings. And in the settings, you can see that here they have given the Android SDK location. So this part, right, you have to concentrate, like you have to know it. So yeah, just a second. Yeah, you have to check it once, and if there is any mistake over here, then yeah, you have to give the correct path. So there is one more thing called project structure, where one second. Yeah. So there is one more thing called project structure, where even here the SDK path is defined and you can change it. So always remember that you have to see. If you ask me like why this error is coming, you have to give the correct path, right? Because it can't identify on its own. So you have to give the correct path and just check. Okay, if you are getting this type of errors, it's generally a problem of path related issue. So you can just check where you have stored your SDK, where you have downloaded your SDK, and you can give the correct path. Not an issue, it will find it. And one more thing is, so that's related to the path related issues. So, and more of you are asking about the why my emulator is not running. So just I want to clear it, guys. So emulator, if you want to run an emulator on any system, a PC or a laptop or any other thing, it require so you require a high-end, very high-end system. At least like according to me, you require a system which has more than 8 GB RAM, a good graphic card, and even if possible, even SSD, if possible. So HDD and all, it will never run. So that's why it's not a problem of your laptop. So even it's not a problem of your code and all. It's just because an emulator requires more RAM. If you have a system which has a higher RAM, then it will run smoothly. Even in my laptop, it will not run smoothly. So that's why, as you can see here, I have connected this Redmi, I mean, my mobile here. So even in my laptop, it doesn't run smoothly. So always remember that if it is running smoothly, then we can do it, not an issue. But don't worry, like don't worry. Many of you are asking that my emulator is not running or my emulator is crashing. So don't worry about that. You can run that. You can run the mobile, and yeah, that's it. And if you are facing still any issue related to part, then I don't know, like you have to find it, you have to find where you have downloaded SDK or AVD. So AVD means AVD manager is like this. I'll show you. Yeah. So I have downloaded a phone called Pixel 3a. Okay. So if you don't have it, what you have to do is you have to just go to create virtual device and you have to choose over here. So you have many things like TV, these are watches and tablet and all, and automotive related. So you have to choose any of this phone, and you have to press next, and you have to download this Android version. So I think you guys have five, right? Android 9 and Android 10. So the latest is R, that is Android 11, I think. So you have to download it, and you can press next. I have already downloaded it, so I'm not downloading it again. So if you download it and run your device, but I don't know, like I would recommend you to run it on your mobile itself, because it really slows down your computer. So better you learn it on install it on the mobile. So that's it. And what else can I show you guys next? Mm, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's about the basics. And if you guys have any doubts related to basics, you can just unmute yourself or you can just comment. I'll just check it out. Yeah, guys, if you have any doubts, just comment over here. Hello, guys. If you have any doubts, you can just unmute yourself. Not an issue. Okay, I hope that there are no doubts. So I'll move further.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah, continue. Manoj, I think. Yeah.
Uh, can you show how to run in mobile, sir? Once I couldn't run it.
Okay, okay, I'll show you. No problem, I'll show you. So I'll run this app itself. Okay. So what you'll do is, one second. Here you can see that I have already connected it to my mobile. So I'll just catch my screen once. One second. Just a second. This is not a process. I'm just casting my screen, so don't follow it. Okay. So it's connected to my mobile. Uh, okay. So this is not an emulator. This is my mobile. Actually, I'm casting it on my laptop screen. That's it. Okay. So don't confuse it that I'm running an emulator. So what you must do is first, whenever like you people are new to Android, right? So I'm showing you this. Like, see, whenever you open the system settings of your mobile, you'll find in about phone, you'll find actually this setup is different for different versions. So for mine, when I click on this MIUI version, will show you like you're already a developer. So you have to click this button or this thing multiple times, like about 5 to 6 times. Then it will show you like you are a developer. So then after you click this multiple times, then you have to go down. I'm showing it in my mobile. I don't know, like there are different type of settings in different mobiles. If you are using some Samsung or Realme or anything else, it will be different. But you will generally find it common in the about phone or system settings. So just go there, find out like in generally it will be on version. So you have to click this on multiple times, and then uh, if you go here, you have to go to additional settings. Here in my mobile, just a second, and then in additional settings, since I am a developer, I'll find this option called developer options. So you have to click it, and in here find some settings called USB debugging and install via USB. These two settings you have to enable it. Actually, by default, they will be off. Enable it. So I already enabled it. So that's why I'm getting this thing called USB debugging is connected. So if you guys enable it in the Android Studio, then it will detect this. Okay. So then it will detect it as some phone is connected to the Android Studio or your laptop. So after that, if you connect it, then you can see. Like even I can run it on my emulator, but since I'm connected to the my mobile phone, I'll show it. So if I run it right, so my app is already installed here. So I'll just delete it once, and I'll just see. Yeah. So if I press this run button, uh, here you can see that my app is running. Yeah, here you can see that this thing actually came installed via USB. So I have to accept it. Like I have to say install. What just happened? It's actually installing. Okay, so just a second. So then the app will run on your phone. So that's how you run it. See, the app is running on my phone. I just created this app. Just a second, I'll remove it. So I just created this app and it's running on my mobile phone. So that's how you have to run it. Actually, this process is different for different phones, but it is generally in common. Like you'll find it generally in your system settings. So if you go to system settings, you'll find it. You have to enable the developer options, and then you can debugging mode. Deploy your app on the mobile phone. Okay. Yeah. So any other doubts that I can clear? Hello, Manoj, am I clear? Or you have any other doubts that I could clear? Hello?
I got it clear, sir.
Yeah, yeah, fine. Any other doubts that I could? Yeah, this was the main to emulator and deploying your app on the mobile. So I hope I cleared your doubt. So yeah, now, okay, this is the important thing. We'll create, I thought of, yeah, I don't think I could do the live coding. So I thought of doing a live coding of this app, but don't worry, I will just share with you this app code and all. So I'll just explain what I did. Okay. So here, what I did is I, you know, created a login app and wait a second. Yeah, no, it's correct actually. So I just created a login app where the user will give his username and password. And if he presses login, then if the username and password are correct, then he'll get to next. He'll get into next activity. So the next activity, I didn't. It's just a basic app. So this is my first activity, and and it's loading up. Okay, this is my second activity. So here, what I wanted to show you is just the basic thing of how it works. Okay, so this is the first activity, and if you press login, you'll get into the second activity. And this is the main code. In this code, what I did is I extracted the text. Suppose if a user enters his username, I'll explain it. I'm just explaining the overview of the app. I'll explain it clearly step by step. So if the user enters his username or password login, the login here in the Kotlin code, I have extracted the username and password, and I have matched it with the verified username and password. And then if it is correct, then the the user will be redirected to the next activity, or else not. It will show a message like incorrect username or password that you generally most of the apps, right? So that's what. Yeah. So what I did here is, so basically I have taken a linear layout. Okay. So listen to this carefully. It may be both. I thought of creating a live coding because since time is not permitting, it's actually 6:40, and even I have to conduct QA session. So that's why I'm explaining it. So what I did is basically this is a linear layout. Okay. So in the previous project I showed you, I created a basic sorry linear layout, and this is a relative layout. So what's the difference is when you create a linear layout, you have to declare the orientation. It may be vertical or it may be even horizontal. So it may be even vertical and horizontal. So if it's horizontal, then it will move. And so that's the problem. But what I did is I just created a relative layout where there is no constraint. It may be anything like, okay, uh, yeah, remove this, not an issue. Okay, so it may be anything like even it may be horizontal or vertical, so you can move freely like this. So that's why I created this relative layout. You can even use linear layout, not an issue. Okay, and inside relative layout, I created one more linear layout just to show you guys compulsory, but I just wanted to show you how this nested thing will work. So if you have some programming experience, you might have seen it like if else if like a nested for loop or a nested conditional statement. So that's how this layout is also like. So this is a nested thing, like there is a relative layout and then a linear layout. So inside linear layout, I have created this image view. So I have said that images must be always present in the drawable folder. So what I did is I just the image from the internet and I just copied in this drawable folder so that I can access it. So here you can see that this is a code where I'm just picking the logo of this JSSTU from the drawable folder, and then I have set it all these parts. So width, height, and padding, and margin top. All these things are basic things. And here one more important thing is you have to always declare an ID. So even if you use it, why this ID means? So see, as I said, right, in the file, you will be linking your XML file. Okay, so this Kotlin file is linked to your XML file. So if you want to access all these things, like suppose you say, like if I press a button, so you have to code what happens. What happens. So before that, you have to actually, declare an ID of it, and you have to, call it over here, so that we can actually, like how could I say that? Can actually code what happens to particular thing. So that's why you have to always declare an ID, declaring a view. Okay. And next, is there any noise actually? I don't know. If there is any noise, please. Sorry. Okay. In home actually. So that's why. But, so next, what I did is I just created a username. This is actually, sorry, not this one. Okay, edit text. So this edit text is different from text view. In text, gonna print a static text. You can't edit it. So in this edit text, you can just edit. Suppose if a user gives like this. Suppose I'll show you in the app itself. Okay, so it's better if I show you in the app. So here, see, what edit text does is input from the user. So if I enter fully, then it will take the input. It's not it's different from the text view. That is, in text view you can't edit the things. Okay, it's just a, this is a kind of dynamic thing. Okay, so that's why you can edit it. And this is even a password is similar. So even in the password, I have declared it, and I have I can even edit it here. And if I press login, then it will redirect me to the next activity. So again, and one more thing, I have created a button over here. So button, uh, even for button, you have to give a ID. So even for edit text, you have to give a ID. So username and password you have to give ID, and for button you have to give ID. Other things are same actually. So if you want to change your color, you can change your color. I hope it's basic, right? Because in the course you people have created many apps, I think at least 2 or 3 apps. So I think it's a basic for you. And yeah, as I said, right, don't use this design part. Okay, so the pulling all these things is really rudimentary thing. I don't know if I could call it like that, but it's really rudimentary because always code it over here in the XML. So as you see, if I want to make changes for anything, suppose for example, right? Suppose I want to change this. I want to change this to 150. I can directly change it. Or else, see, if you are using this design part, you have to find this. You have to go here and you have to change it. Or else you have to drag and drop it. Like those things will really become hectic when you are creating a complex user interface or a complex design. This is simple. So when you are creating really a complex thing, then you could feel hectic. So what I suggest is that you directly use this XML rather than this design part. Will feel easy for you. Yeah. And this is the basic XML. And I have declared all the IDs. So you have to remember that I have declared all the IDs, and just don't forget it, because if you forget it, then you can't access it from the, yeah. So in Kotlin file, here I have declared, I have written a basic code in Kotlin. So what I did is, first, as I said, I have linked this activity to the activity main.xml, and then I have cleared some variables. So what this variable do is, I've created a variable called login button, which is a type button, and it will be, it will be linked to the login button. So what this ID, this is called, this is actually the ID that I declared. So here it is the login button, and even here I've declared it as login button. So this is really important. The IDs must match. We can't give some other ID over there. So the IDs must match, and you have to give a normal ID, like don't try to give a complex thing. Okay. So this I have extracted it, and I've called it over here. So similarly for username and password also, even for this username and password, I have called it. And here I've declared this code, that is the login button dot set on click listener. This set on click listener, it will wait for your response. Okay, so suppose if I enter this like as Android, so it will wait for your response, and once you click this login, it will redirect you to the next activity. So you can see some message, right? You just saw that the logged in, you are logged in successfully. So this message is created by this toast. So what I did is I'll compare. Okay. So see, as you can see here, I've given Puneet in the here also it is Puneet, and I've given Android. It's Android. The if loop, and then it will redirect me to the next activity. If it's wrong, suppose if I remove this D and I'll press login, it will say incorrect username or password, because I have declared the else that if the username and the password doesn't match, then you can just show the error. So this is actually called the toast. Okay. So when you press it, you'll get this message, right? A short message. This is actually called a toast in Android. Okay. So Kotlin part, and yeah, and one more thing. So this was just a simple app. Okay, so in real time, nobody declares this kind of hard code. I mean, actually, what happens is when you enter your username and password, if this username and password will go to the database, and in data like the when you register, right, you give all your details, and those details will be registered in the database. So when you log in, though, and they will compare your username, the ones in the database, and then you can just log in there. This is actually just a simple thing to show. I can show you how to connect to database and all, but still, like this session, as I said in the beginning, this session was mainly for the new to programming track, that is track one. So that's why I thought of creating a simple thing. So like, but I covered all the things. Okay, so suppose if I go to the go to this 1 second. Go to this. This is a course, right? Just a second. Sorry for this. My internet is really slow here, so that's why if there is any lag, the system is not working. Just a second till it loads. My internet was a bit slow, that's why I was not able to show you. I have gone through all the. So I have covered all the things. As you can see, I have covered unit 1 and unit 2 also. The only part left is the last part, that is this thing is not opening it up. So okay, the only part left was the last part, that is the recycler view part. So that part I actually wanted to cover in session 2. So session 2 will be mainly focused for the track 2 guys. So even in track 2, there is a part called recycler view and database and all. So those parts I'll be showing there, explaining it clearly over there. But here, as far as the track 1 is concerned, they mainly focused on this XML part, that is coding the XML, creating the user interface, design and all, and just simple basic Kotlin code. So I think I have showed login is not there in your course, so I just thought of creating it. So if you attend session 2, then there I'll show you how to create a recycler view and all. So I can just show you a demo over here. So recycler view somewhat. Okay. So this is the app that I created. So this is the progress bar. Just a second, it's loading still. Since I have this internet issue, this app actually requires internet, so that's why. Or else I will show you this. Okay, I will show you this one. I have really a network problem. That's why. Hmm, this app is still loading. Okay, not an issue. Okay, I'll show you. If there is some other app, I can show you. Yeah, yeah. So this is the app that I created. So this is the COVID tracker app. So if you go here, you can see, okay, even this thing. Okay. Okay, all these apps, right, they run on internet, and my internet is really slow. You can see that it's 0.1 kbps. So this app some time to load. So no problem. I'll show you the recycler view in the next part. Okay, so the next session. And I think I showed you all these things. Yeah, and one more thing, one important thing I need to show you. What it is see, whenever you declare activities, right? Suppose you can see here in the left part, I will close all these things. It's better. Okay. So in the left part, I have two activities called main activity and another is called second activity. So as I said in the beginning, whenever you create a Kotlin file, you have to mention it in the Android manifest, Android manifest.xml file. So if you don't mention it, okay, so some of the student has asked like, I was getting an error called that your app is crashed or your app is not working. So the reason for this is if you don't declare it if you don't declare some activity in the Android manifest file, your app will compile. There will be no process, there will be no error in the compile time. But when you try to run your app, right, it will not move to that activity. So I'll show you that. Suppose see there are two activities. Okay, so this second activity, I have declared it here. Okay, this is the interesting part. I'll remove it and I'll run it. The app will run. There will be no problem in running. So I'll just run it over here. See, the app is running. The app will run and it will even install. There will be no problem in that. Okay, just a second. App is running. I'll show you what happens exactly because most of the students cleared out, I feel. See, the app is built successfully and okay, and even it has zero error. Okay, it's fine. You feel that okay, my app is correct. See, I open my app and I enter this. I enter the username and I enter the password, Android. So when I try to log in, the app will crash. Why? Because see, when I enter my username correct and my password correct, then it was to do the second activity, but it is not moving. Why? Because I have removed this second activity from the Android manifest file, so that this app is so that's the main problem here. So if I add it, suppose if I add it back and if I run it again, it has built successfully. And if I open it again, and I'll try to log in again. Okay. See, once a second. Here, okay. A second. See, it is logged in successfully. Why? Because when you remove this activity from your Android manifest file, right, your app will be not able to recognize it. So that's why previous time I got an error, like my app got crashed. Why? Because it was not able to move to the next activity, so it just closed off. So for if you ask me like how to know, I mean like suppose if you are creating a very large app, you might forget, you might forget mentioning some activities over here. So at that time, when you want to debug such kind of error, suppose I'll remove it once again and I'll show you by running it. Okay, so it's better I will show you. So it built without errors and yeah, it's just installing. Wait a second. It's still installing. So if you want to debug those kind of errors, then here at the bottom right, you can see if your laptop is open, you can just follow me. So here at the bottom, you can see a thing called Logcat. So this Logcat, right, what it will do is it will show the every step of your app. Suppose if I open my app, it is running, my Logcat is running. So here the Logcat is changing. Actually, it is following all the movements of this app. So if I try to log in, you can see that the Logcat is actually showing an error. So this Logcat, this is very helpful. Okay, so when you have this kind of runtime errors or bugs in the app, you can track those bugs in this Logcat. So here you can see that it is showing some red color. It means error, and you can see it is showing that there is some problem in this line. The main activity, there is some problem in the main activity and at 30th line. So if I go to 30th line, you can see that actually I said, right, that if I don't declare this second activity in the manifest file, it will not move it. So it is showing that there is some problem here. So it is not moving. Intent is actually that what I did is I'm from main activity, like from the main activity, I'm moving to the second activity. So there is problem in jumping from first activity to second activity. It's error. You can see that activity not found, etc. So this arises when you don't declare your files in manifest file. So if I just just make it right and I'll just run it again, then you can see the bug gets fixed and then your app will run smoothly. So why I showed it, because most of the people, right, like I was getting messages from most of the people. I don't know why, but they were not able to track this thing. Like this was the main error, that their app was getting crashed or there was some error. So this is the main thing. So this was the main thing that I wanted to show you guys. So if you guys get any kind of runtime errors like this, then I I would wish that you go to this Logcat and then you can debug it. So since it's really easy here to track the runtime errors. Okay, so that's it. That's the thing that I wanted to say. It's common. Yeah. Yeah, everything else I've covered it. Okay, so yeah, see, if I go to this course, okay, so is there any doubt? If there are any doubts, I think we are up to that. It's already 7, right? Actually, I joined like 5 minutes late. Fine. So here you can see I was going through this. I have covered all these things, right? See, as I said, I just left the last part, that is the recycler part. So I'm not saying I'll not cover it. I'll cover it in the next session. So in the next session, right? Like there are two databases, that is SQL and Firebase. So I'll show you how to connect your app to the database and how to extract or retrieve things. So I will be showing that in the next part, that is session 2. You guys can join there. I could show you here only, but it's common for you both and for the session 2, like sorry, the track 2 guys. So I'll show it there only. Yeah. Are there any doubts that I could clear? Hello? If there are any doubts, just yeah. If there are any doubts, like you can even comment in the comment box, or you can just unmute yourself and ask me. No problem. Sorry for, I think there is some delay in my voice. Okay, there is some internet problem, so that's why. I wasn't sure. Yeah. So, are there any doubts? If there is any doubts, then please ask me, because I think I covered all this. Like I covered that manifest file out. So yeah. So as commented here, you can just feel free if you have any part related. If your Android emulator is not running, just feel free to present it. Okay, it's better if you present it. I can see it and I can clear your doubts. If you just, I can't clear your part related issues. No, it's your computer. You will be knowing where you have downloaded something or where you have stored something. So I can't just clear those part related doubts. So if you just present me, or if you just ask me there, I can show you. Yeah. Is there any doubt that I could clear? Yeah. So if there is any doubt, please ask. I'll definitely clear it. I hope I was clear, right, while presenting. If there was any mistake or that you could not understand, or if I want to repeat something else, then I will definitely do it. So please ask me. Until you ask, I can't understand, right? So that's why. Yeah, if it's that's it, then you can. That's it. That's the end of the session. Then, if you don't have any doubts, if you don't have any doubts, that's it. Yeah. Is there anything that if you are feeling uncomfortable studio, if there is anything like that, then please ask me. You know, yeah. So I think that's the end. So you can see the thank you message. Yeah, feel free to ask any doubts if you have. Okay. If you feel anything like, see, if you feel any doubt in clearing this track, then ask me. Don't ask me answers, okay? If you ask me like for a particular question in the quiz, tell me the answer, I can't tell you because I'm not allowed to tell you. So completing this task, I can provide you with some extra material or extra resources. So if you just ping me in the Discord server with the extra material like some YouTube video or some materials related to Kotlin or an, So if you don't have any doubts, then you can move with the course. So I covered in this project, I covered all the things. So in this project, I covered all the basic things that you will learn in the course one, that sorry, the track one, that is the new to programming track. So in the session two, I'll be covering some advanced concepts of Android like recycler view, Google Apps. So if you guys want to know about more things, then you have to attend session two. We'll update the dates of session two and the timings. So it will be after 1 week or 2 weeks. So don't worry about that. So that's it for this session. So I'm still here. If you have any doubts, please ask me, or else you can just leave the session. That's it.